Today's topic is human sexuality and particularly sex of the heart. This is an interesting topic that has been treated as taboo, kept hidden in a secret culture, misconceived, suppressed, heavily guarded, underappreciated aspect of mainstream spirituality. And we've been socialized and trained to see sexuality from a particular lens of a physical organ alone, believing that the physical organ is the only expression of human sexuality. And human sexuality has been approached in an narrow way, limiting it only to a physical dimension. And more emphasis has been put on the physical organ, not so much on our spiritual sexual energy. And this is a narrow view of the overall sexual experience of the social, emotional, and spiritual aspects of sexuality. This has made us live a limited, impoverished way of expressing who we are as sexual beings. And there is a perspective that moves beyond a purely physical understanding of human sexuality. And most of us aren't aware that we aren't just physical organs, we are unseen sexual energy. We can be in a world richer, and there is more to life than what we've been told and known about sexuality so far. There is a whole different world our mind isn't aware exists, that unseen world of sexual energy. And sex is much broader, wider, vast, and multi-dimensional. We are sexual beings. And there is a key to open a door to another level of understanding human sexuality, emphasizing the importance of emotional, relational intimacy, creating a fulfilling life experience. It is a connection between the heart, the soul, the spirit, the brain, and the groin, and how we experience and express love and intimacy. What was kept away from us has disempowered us in our relationships. And we miss the full creative aspect of sexuality and how to use it for fulfilling service to humanity. Even sex in marriage hasn't translated to more friendship, to more community, to more family. Couples are lonelier, and we have to come to terms with our sexuality as not shameful, not wrong, not dirty, but as a beautiful connection and experience used as a way to empower ourselves. So let's look at human sexuality beyond the physical. We miss out so much in life perceiving human sexuality from only a physical perspective. And science tells us that atoms of matter are mostly 99.99% empty space and 0.001 particle. And this empty space that is 99.99% is energy. It is sexual energy. And the 0.001% is genitalia sex. So we've put attention on everything physical around us, and we end up experiencing only 0.01% instead of 99.99%. Why do we continue to live a limited physical experience of sexuality that is particle, that accounts for 0.01%? Are we willing to explore the 99.999% of human sexuality that is spiritual, soul, and sexual energy? Spiritual, esoteric, and tantric. Spiritual, esoteric, and tantric traditions suggest that the affective heart is the seat of sexuality, accounting for 99.99% of the overall sexual experience, and sex of the genitals accounts for 0.01% because it is particle. So according to tantric traditions, the heart is seen as the seat of human sexuality, the brain is seen as the switch of sexuality, the control center of human sexuality, with the groin as the store of human sexuality, storing the seed of life in the genitals meant for reproductive organs. So affective sexuality of the heart is the key area in human sexuality. Let's look deep into this affective sexuality, sex of the heart, that accounts for 99.99%, that is fuel for the procreative dimension of sexuality. This is the capacity to love, to establish ties of communion and relationship with others. It is that sense of proximity or touching, holding hands, hugging, eye contact, cuddling, and caressing. It is also the expression of feelings such as closeness, and it is the display of affection without sexual activity, a way of loving when we find ourselves caught up in that divine love that is charity. So affective spiritual sexuality, sex of the heart, is counter to how culture views sex. Society has kept sexuality sacred, and sexual energy has been reduced to genitality. And the importance of sex of the heart has not been emphasized, and sex has been reduced to genitality, taking us outside of ourselves from communion with soul in the now present magical, powerful moment. So sexuality and spirituality cannot be separated. In modern society, sex is externally focused and mistakenly identified mainly with physical sex. And there has been a divorce between spirituality and sexuality, and sexual energy has been cut off from the divine as pure secular and ungodly. And sexuality is considered to be of the body, while spirituality is seen to be of a different dimension. And saying that sex seems to be too utterly to be connected to spirit isn't the truth at all. Sexuality is always more than simply having sex. And sex, which is genitality, is not the whole reality of sex. Sexual energy reduced to genitality is cut off from the divine, according to Ronald Rohaisia, because we are sexual energy. So society has kept sexuality secret, not letting us express our sexual energy and teaching us that sexuality could be shameful, bad, dirty, sinful, and wrong. And we've been shamed, traumatized. And it shows up in our relationships, in our service to humanity, and it makes us insecure, unsafe, untrusting, and we end up lacking intimacy and having non-lasting relationships. We are sexual beings created in the image and the creator of God, who as a sexual being spoke creation into existence, because sexual energy is creative energy. And we have the authority as sexual beings to speak into existence our desired reality. So sexual energy is that energy beyond physical sex that unites us with the divine spirit. It is creative. And when we charge our bodies with sexual energy, we have successful ministries, successful projects, and successful business because our sexual energy flows from the heart that is infused and imbued with creative energy. It is affectionate with everyone and all things, and intimate with everyone and all things. And we are surrounded by this sexual energy that gives us the opportunity to create those beautiful ministries and beautiful projects. So, looking at definition of sexuality by Ronald Rohaisia, this is the most beautiful sexuality definition I've ever encountered. Let's listen to it together mindfully. Sexual energy is part and parcel of the universal drive for life. It is a sacred life force that permeates and drives the entire universe. It is beautiful, good, and extremely powerful sacred energy given to us by the Creator. It's experienced in every cell of our being as an irrepressible urge to overcome our incompleteness for union and consummation with something beyond us. It's an all-encompassing energy for relationships, for selfless service, for life-giving, for family and congregation bond. And it's not limited to the physical sexual act, which is one expression of sexuality. And Ronald distinguishes between sex of the heart and sex of the groin. And according to him, sex of the heart involves compassion, harmony, romance, intimacy, and soul passion and trust, abbreviated as CHRIST. Put those letters together and see what word comes out of it. CHRIST. And sex of the groin, according to him, is purely physical and may lead to dissatisfaction, exploitation, superficiality, and boredom if focus is put only on sex of the groin, evading sex of the heart. And we'll look at that later. So sex of the heart or affective sexuality is where two people become one. Sex starts in the heart and is felt by the head that flips the switch so that the current of sex, imbued with those attributes in the heart of compassion, harmony, romance, intimacy, soul, passion, and trust, awakens the sex store of the groin as two people become one after reaching orgasm together. So without compassion, harmony, romance, intimacy, soul, passion, and trust, two can never be one. When we bypass the heart and go straight to the groin from the head, we create a short circuit and we will feel we are going away from each other until we connect soul to soul, heart to heart, and depth to depth. So until we give and receive in our day-to-day life, those attributes shared between the two hearts, we will settle into being incomplete and separate. So practicing CHRIST, compassion, harmony, romance, intimacy, soul, passion, and trust for 21 days out of a month, abstaining from sex of the groin. By the time we come to sex of the groin in the remaining 8 days, it will always be honeymoon over and over and over again. So sex of the heart, affective sexuality, and physical genitalia sexuality complement each other. We cannot say that one is better than the other. Both of them work together in harmony to give us a fulfilling, wholesome feeling of contentment. So spiritual affective sex of the heart is the emotional, intuitive, spiritual aspect of human sexuality. And physical sexuality is the biological aspect of human sexuality, of genitals, and the physical act of sex. So sexuality is not just about creating biological offsprings, it is also about creating blissful ministries and projects and businesses. So different types of affective sexuality of the heart include emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, psychological intimacy, and spiritual intimacy. Emotional intimacy is the expression of joy, happiness, affection, care, concern, tenderness, smile, eye gaze, soft voice, hug, handhold, and compassion. Intellectual intimacy is the shared ideas, knowledge, dreams, and vision. And psychological intimacy is empathy, respect, trust, dignity, acceptance, warmth, and equality. And spiritual intimacy is fidelity, mutuality, honesty, chastity, charity, faithfulness, innocence, closeness, and spiritual longings, service, and communion and oneness with all. So sex of the groin, purely physical, may lead to dissatisfaction as we hop from one lover to another, looking for something more extraordinary from the previous partner. And this might lead to exploitation, superficiality, and boredom. And sex taken to be about orgasms alone can be animalistic and short, and the orgasm lasting only 22 seconds, leaving us torn between frustration and infidelity. And we look for another lover, not a friend. And we starve for more intimacy and connection. And there will be little friendship and little love. And we will feel disconnected from our bodies, from each other, and trapped in our heads and not present in our sentient bodies. So we feel tired and disconnected from our partner after sexual intercourse and disconnected from ourselves as well. And we feel sad. We get a feeling that there has to be something more than what we are going through physically. So sexuality isn't simply about finding a lover. Men and women can be together as more than lovers when sexuality is simply about finding a lover. Virginity and chastity with deep relationships can become unrealistic. However, it is possible to have chastity between deep friendships. And lifestyle has become a personal choice with varying reasons for individuals. Some individuals have chastity between deep and married friendships, and sometimes other couples will have a celibate companionship between a man and a woman with display of affection without sexual activity. And married couples can make a vow of celibacy together and build their relationships in other ways without sex. And sexual chastity to stay celibate during a start of a relationship can be more fulfilling because sex is not the only way to be intimate. And some couples, when recovering from relationships, prefer to be chaste and abstain from sex in order to change the way they approach a new relationship. And others abstain from sex for a set time before their wedding to rekindle their spiritual connection. And others may abstain within marriage for 21 days of abstinence in order to have honeymoon when they get into sexual intercourse. And when a relationship with sex becomes unhealthy, some couples choose to abstain from sex. Lastly, priests and nuns successfully channel their sexual energy instead of repressing it into life energy for ministry and for creative endeavors of the spirit into the world. So, what could be some of the benefits of sacred sexuality? One, deepening intimate connections with fuller, deeper satisfaction. Two, achieving healthy sexual relationships, soul to soul, heart to heart. And three, holistic mind, body, and spirit connection with self and the partner. And four, experiencing a new level of connection from intimacy and love to improve personal communication. And number five, a release of sexual blocks of shame to access the greatest pleasure and to discover full multiple body orgasms. And six, to get a chance to elevate levels of testosterone when we are abstaining. And this can lead to anti-aging and youthful radiance. And number seven, awakening the capacity for pleasure rather than focusing only on the genitals. And lastly, to make sexuality more intimate with possibly foreplay in order to enjoy the act. So let us look at sacredness around sexuality in marital relationships. Who do you choose to have sex play with? Because sexual energy is a powerful energetic exchange. We do not only exchange fluids, we also change energy. When partners exchange energy, they are taking in a partner's energy and all those they have had sex with up to the 10th generation. So do you think it is important to choose whom you can have sex with? Because is it someone who would like to have their energy inside of us? The right partner grows us spiritually. Couples grow each other spiritually if they are on the same level. And if not on the same level, the lower level person sucks the energy and of the one who is at a higher level, and both of them will go down. So let us look at the 12 predictors of a satisfying sex life. Number 1, happier relationships. Number 2, better sexual communication. Number 3, less pornography consumption. And number 4, frequent hugging and kissing. Number 5, greater intimacy. Number 6, more frequent sex. And number 7, having a variety of positions and a variety of display of affection. So with all this said, where do you find yourself? Where are you right now? Are you looking at balancing sex of the heart with sex of the groin so that you can express and experience the full range of human sexuality? Enjoy your sex life. Namaste.